So again, as I cross over, I'm turning his face with my hips. So I'm here, block, hip to the face, turning him over. Now simply I could slide over, take his head, start piking up. So what I'm doing is you okay?
Yeah, good.
I'm taking the pointy part of my shoulder, putting it in his chest, even if he puts his chin down to protect. When I take that front head, like put your chin down. I'm here, now I pike up, and as I pike up and walk backwards, pointy part of my chin just starts dragging and pulling his head up. And then I can pike down right there, drive down onto his trace.
It's not a joke, it's a gag, really. You gag the gag.
A gag. So, here, and back. Okay?
Yeah.
So the other one that you can do is if I'm here, as I go, bring this knee up. This is transitioning from crossbody to north-south. Put the knee on the face. Use the knee to turn his body as he goes. Catch the arm here. Put my hands down. If you come around to this side, by turning his head and clamping my knees together like Thigh Master, clamping them hard, you can see his head is turned face down into the mat. I'm clamping them hard. Put the hands in. I'm using this arm to catch, because if I don't, he'll continue rolling. Okay? Now here, continue to roll. He's stuck. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lift up about an inch. I'm posting on my feet. Look, my toes are in the mat. These are here. I'm going to lift his head up and twist this way. Crooked head scissor.
Crooked head, Wigan style.
So as he comes here and he starts turning, I catch the hand, lift up, and crank the head. Okay, one time full speed, you okay?
Yeah, good.
So I'm here, come around north from the head side, and maybe kneel down so you can get the low position of his head. So I'm here as I go, I come onto his face, let's start that again. As he turns, here. Now I lift up, crank. Okay? Now the other thing is I can come right here, climb up, take the arm. For straight arm bar, take the double wrist lock around, or I can do the same, and take both. The neck crank, you okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's another submission set from the front north-south. Anything to add, Billy?
Not really, because there is just too many to go into. Now you want to confuse everybody. The thing is, where you learn how to change is on the reaction of what you are doing to the person. And each person will react a little bit different, because we're not like on a conveyor belt machine made. Everybody's different. Some guys are very supple. Some guys have got a high tolerance of pain. Even though you get a submission perfect, he's just don't want to quit on you. So that doesn't mean to say you can't beat him. It means to say you're not going to beat him with that. You choose to something else. And the more technique that you have, the more submissions that you have, it's like the more bullets you have for a gun. You know, the first 6 in a 6-shooter, the first 6 don't work, you miss them, and you reload. If you don't have any bullets, you'll be. So you've got to have enough ammunition, and that's knowledge.
So we'll float around for our shin ride here. And again, I'm on top of the man. My toes are here. If I wanted to, I could just stand up if I need be. But meanwhile, I'm able to ride, and it's sort of uncomfortable for him because the shins are on the sensitive areas. Obviously, I can get down closer to the knees, start riding, and you can see his face. It's painful. So
Yeah, but you see, what Jake's doing now is perfect. But the thing is, he doesn't have to walk backwards to do that. He's just got to take his knees a bit back. So you don't have to make 2 moves.
Yeah.
You just change.
Without even taking the weight off.
Yeah.
So from here, I can also, if you were to bridge either direction, I can still put my knees down, have control or whatnot. I can even switch out for grapes here if I want. So I could simply come here, pass this along, and start working the leg as well. Now the next position is here. Again, I'm going to take my hand short, just the blade, go just under here. And I'm actually going to take this side of the blade, here, grab my hands. And all I have to do is clamp it tight to my body.
Just one thing.
Yes, sir.
You don't want to let, because a lot of guys do it and then they let the shoulder slide this way. You've got to lug your shoulder underneath. There you go. And then just turn your body. There you go.
Now all I have to do is grind up, move up the foot. From here, put the wedge in, turn it upwards. So it's here, I turn the wedge upwards as I move up the foot. Now what I want to do from here, once I've turned him, assuming I don't want that submission,
Oh, he's tough.
or he's tough, whatever, I'm just going to take it out, but I'm going to keep the leg underneath my body as I climb up. Take the cross body, cross face. Staying on it. Now the easiest submission from here, since his head is turned, I have a neck crank here. Very, very simple. But the other thing I can do is if you come down here for the camera, Brule, see I'm riding him and I'm trying to control him. I'm going to sit through and put my hip next to his hip. Sit in, grab it, hook it, grab the toe, toe hold. Really easy for the guy. Another thing I can do is go in, grab my toe, do the toe hold here. Okay? So now I can go front, north, south. And again, when I do it, I want his head right in the bread basket, right where my ribs are. And I kind of start arching. Now if you come around here and get low so you can see what I'm going to do to his shin, if he comes to all fours, as he comes up, I'm going to take my hands like a cup. I'm just going to cup on his chin here. And as he keeps coming up, I just bow into him. You okay? Yeah. So here, and I roll into him. So this, again, is a gag on him.
Yeah.
So then, go ahead and lay it flat again. So now I can move around again for shin ride. And as I come up, what's going to happen before you come up? This leg is going to hook this ankle. So go ahead and come up. As he comes up, I hop off, scoop the leg, and sit on it. Okay? Hopefully high inside the knee, and I put my weight on it. This is called ball and chain. Now, from the positions, I hold his leg, hold the toe, and simply pull up on it. The other thing I can do for a breakdown is bring this arm up over the hip, and I turk with this leg now, and drive with the far leg. Here, and start turking. You'll also notice that if I keep the weight on the hip, keep this knee down, I can start levering the knee. Here. If I've got the side ride and you come around to this side, as I keep the pressure in him, all I have to do is as I come, just sit down here to the side. Sit right next to his body, keep my leg in, here, grab the toe, and pull. Now if I want to make it extra hard, I just put this there as a block to maintain my weight.
You're in the tub ride, squeeze your knees together, and then just throw your hands out, arch you back and make you go flat forward, bang. Now then, put your hand on the side of his head here. On the side of his head, the other hand.
This hand here.
This hand. Push his hand.
This
Push
hand?
his head.
His head here.
That's it. Then get the half muscle. And right on the top of the head. Now lever. Then take your hip the other way. There you go.
So, again, if I'm in the ride, look at my legs. I'm going the same direction as him with only one hook in. I don't have two hooks like you see in jiu-jitsu. I have one leg in, driving forward. I take the hand, push the head, come under the elbow, and my hand is a fist. Under the elbow, put the fist on the head, and wring him out like a dish rag.
His hips going that way, and his elbows coming this way.
So, I'm wringing him the opposite direction. Thanks. It's a lot like what they're calling a twister, and it's similar to the wrestler's guillotine or the twister, but it's a lot easier to get. I don't have to work as hard.
This is a typical starting position in amateur wrestling or in a lot of different kinds of wrestling. We need to get a breakdown to get into a position to pin your opponent. And what we're going to do now, firstly, is to chop at the joint of the elbow and grab the arm and lock it to his body. Then we're going to put our foot out, sit through, roll back, turn. Then when you're there, put your head on the mat, kick over. Now drive into him with your body and trap his arm. Now the hand between the legs will stop him using his legs to turn. He can't bridge because the other arm's underneath the head, and he's also got his arm jammed between the two bodies. So it's a very effective pinfall for young wrestlers and amateur wrestlers and stuff. So what we need to do is to break the opponent down. So the first thing we're going to do is chop the elbow joint, grab his own hand and lock the opponent's arm close to his body. Then we're going to stick our left leg out and then sit through with the right, roll back, turn, put your forehead on the floor so you can cross over, and now drive straight into him so that his arm's trapped, his shoulders are flat. He's put the hand between the legs so the man can't use his hips to turn to get to safety, and he's got the head trapped. So that's a good pin. Okay, we need to break him down again before we go into the pin. So this time, I need the weight off his arm that he's defending with. So I'm going to reach across his face, grab the arm, lift him so the weight's off, then slide down to the elbow. Once it's to the elbow, that arm's mine. Then with my other arm, I'm going to reach underneath, grab his elbow, then change to a 45-degree angle and drive forward. Push, 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 push. Don't stop driving. Okay. That's basic. The thing is with catch wrestling is it's physical chess. It's so much fun that you never want to get, once you've learned it or got into it, you never want to get out of it. Hence my old battered body. But the big point is this, that there is so many moves, so many counters, so many different reactions. There's not one set way to do anything. You have to adjust. You go for what move you're going for, but you've got to adjust to how your opponent his reflexes are, or his reaction is. So there's no saying, well, oh, I can do this or I can do that. You can be the greatest performer in the world, greatest wrestler, greatest technician, But on a certain day with a certain guy, you're not going to get what you want maybe. So you just have to adjust. If you decided you're not going to get it, you do not waste time or energy trying to force it. You change and start working on something else. And it's physical chess. There's no nearly getting it right. If it's not 100% right, it's wrong. And if you, all the moves you learn and do, whatever it is, when you're in a match or you're sparring hard or whatever, and you do it, if it's easy, you've done it right. If it's hard, it means you've got to afterwards think about what was wrong. Next time I'll have to adjust this knee 2 inches forward, 2 inches back, or adjust my body weight, you know. But when it becomes hard, then there's something wrong. Because the right position and timing, everything should be easy. But it isn't. If it was easy, everybody would be a world champion.
Brilliant, just absolutely brilliant. So far removed from any style I've studied so far, folk, freestyle, Greco, Judo, Jiu-jitsu, Japanese or Brazilian. It seems that everything you guys do involves pain. You enter with pain. You use control positions with pain. You submit with pain. Everything is pain. Even right now, I am in a state of body and mind far beyond Motrin and narcotics. But I loved every moment of it. It's very invaluable. It gives me a new way of looking on at the Savat Donsteru that I already practice.
It's incredible. I really enjoyed myself. I learned a ton of new things. Catch as Catch Can is a really full system, and working with a master like Billy Robinson here, it's really incredible. I feel really privileged to have been part of this program.
I loved it. I think it's phenomenal. I feel that the art, it's so simplistic. It makes me think that many of the other arts just deviated away from simplicity and, made things complicated along the way. And, Catch as Catch Can just, it just gives you the move right there. I mean, it's simple, it's effective, it's painful. It's a great art. I definitely highly recommend it for everyone. Especially if you just want to continue with MMA or grappling or whatever it is, Catch as Catch Can is definitely a great beginning for it all.
The problem is it was too short. The 2 days were not long enough because there's so much to be shown. And everybody reacts differently. The reflex system is different. People are loose-limbed, or some people are stiff. Some people are very strong, or some people are very fast. And you've got to learn how to make any move or any position work with anybody. And the only way to do that is to learn your body position, how to get power from the alignment of knees, hips, shoulders, ankles, toes and heels, so that you can get the most power and speed from your own body to be able to achieve a situation where you can do anything with anybody. And catch-as-catch-can wrestling is the #1 martial arts sport in the world, bar none, and it is physical chess. Unfortunately now, with the mixed martial arts, they've cut the pinfalls out, which to me is terrible, because a lot of the submissions that we've learned the last 2 days can be got a lot easier from somebody trying to defend himself from being pinned. Because as he turns or tries to escape from a pin, he'll leave an ankle or a loose arm or head for crooked head scissors or many, many things. So now you've got to do the things, but you've got to do them from a different position, you know. But it is the greatest sport in the world, and it keeps me young. And the thing is, like, there'd be old timers, all probably world champions or champions of some kind, that have retired, and there was no distraction in those days. There was no internet, computers, telephones, clubs to go out with, or like the social life. Nobody had any money, so all the youth of all the countries like were full of fire, vim and fire, and they wanted to do something, so they joined a soccer or rugby club or judo, jiu-jitsu, boxing, and the toughest of all, catch-as-catch-can wrestling, submission wrestling. And you had many, many sparring partners, because there was just hundreds of guys around in every town. But the old timers used to come down to the gym because of the atmosphere, and they'd see you do something wrong, and after your training session, they'd pull you to one side, explain to you, show you, get you back on the mat with a different sparring partner, and make you do it. And the thing was, I used to wake up with a head up screaming, because I'd hear this voice in Billy Riley's voice, my coach and Carl Gotch's coach, screaming at me, do it again, do it again. And I'd wake up like with ringing in my ears, do it again, and I'd look around, where? Oh God, you know what I mean? So wrestling has been the greatest life I can figure that I could have had, and it's been very, very good for me. And I want to be like the old timers and give my knowledge back, so the sport keeps on going. The thing is, with catch-as-catch-can wrestling, the major thing is to learn how to learn. Once you get that, once your coach, like Jake or myself or some other old timer, has got into your mind how you can learn, you never stop learning. I'm learning now, because with this mixed martial arts, there are different situations, so I see it, and then it doesn't take long to figure out how to counter it or beat it. But I'm learning because I never came across that situation. But now I see it, because I've learned how to learn. I have no problem with it, or teaching somebody how to beat it. When I was champion, Billy Riley never said any good word. I became British champion, European champion, British Empire champion, then the world champion. And I went back to England. I said to Mr. Riley, because I never called him Billy in my life, you know, always had the respect. And I said, Mr. Riley, I said, why was it you never once said to me, Billy, that was great, oh, that was good, son? He said, no. He said, I'm here to teach you what you're doing wrong. I can teach you the moves. What you're doing right, you don't need help with. What you're doing wrong, then I'm going to tell you about it and adjust it so you do it right. But the problem with the youth of today is, he was talking about me being 18, 19, 20, and he's the old man like I am now. He was saying the problem with the youth today, meaning he's the old man and I'm the youth, is that once they start to think they're good, once they start to think they are the best, they stop learning. And I try to keep it a situation where you never wanted to stop learning. So that's my answer. It's just great. It just, once you learn how to learn, it just mushrooms out.